For more on Raila Odinga's rejection of the outcome of Kenya's presidential election results, I'm joined live via Skype by Salim Lone, a former spokesperson and current advisor for Odinga. Mr. Salim, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you.
So let's start off with your reaction on Mr. Odinga rejecting the announcement of the electoral board that William Ruto has won this election.
Yes, Mr. Ruto has won the election for the moment. He is president-elect, not president. And in the Constitution, there's a very clear provision that if there is a dispute, it can be challenged in the Supreme Court. And the reality is that the fundamental aspects of a successful election were missing. The most important being that 4 of the 7 commissioners did not agree with the result that was declared by the chairman. And as we know, in the Maina Kiai case, the court ruled very clearly that it is not the chairman who is responsible for verification, it is the commission, the election commission. And that majority of the commissioners have to support the announcement. So none of these 2 fundamental aspects were honored, and Mr. Odinga has challenged this and will proceed to court. And I should just mention that people were worried that even going to court is actually going to raise tensions. But to the contrary, as soon as Mr. Odinga spoke yesterday, whatever little violence or demonstrations were taking place stopped. So I think this is a lawful response, a peaceful response from Mr. Odinga, and let us see what the court says. We were very encouraged today, by the way, by the EU Foreign Minister's statement, Mr. Joseph Borrell, who said to congratulate Kenya on the election. They did not congratulate Mr. Ruto as the president. They said they noted the fact of Mr. Ruto and asked
Mr. Lone, the audio is a little bit shaky, but let's look at 2 scenarios. Given the fact that the Supreme Court has limited time to make a decision on this petition, let's address 2 issues. One, what happens if Mr. Odinga's petition is found to be valid? And number 2, what happens if the court throws this case out and says Mr. Ruto is president-elect, and that's final? Please address those 2 issues very quickly.
Well, no, it's very straightforward. In neither case will there be any violence. And if there is, it will be condemned by Mr. Odinga himself. As you know, in both 2007, when we had that huge violence, as well as in 2017, when we again had violence, Mr. Odinga in both cases accepted compromises. In 2007, he agreed to be prime minister, even though he thought he had won the election. And in 2017, after the violence, he reached out, or during the violence, he reached out to Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, the president, and said, let's try to solve this issue once and for all, because we have already had 3 bitterly disputed elections. Let the next one not be the case. And we really did take the 4th one.
And what happens if the case is tossed out? Quickly.
Well,
all right.
If the case is tossed out, it'll be a shame. But let's wait for that to happen before we begin wondering what to do. But I do wish the media would pay a little more attention to the many issues that call into question the legitimacy of this election.
Right, Mr. Salim, we'll have to leave it there for now. Thank you so much. Salim Lone is a former spokesperson and current advisor for Mr. Raila Odinga.